chosen one, I know a secret about your future. It's a surprising truth that will change everything for you, and it promises a reward beyond what you can imagine. Don't scroll past this. Your destiny depends on what comes next. Before I go any further with this message, I need you to understand something about the present moment. This is not a mistake. It's not a spiritual platitude to say that in this very moment. That is a statement of fact about the architecture. God made sure you found it in time. Hold on to that sentence. Don't let it go. In other words, this wasn't left up to chance. This wasn't just something that came up because it matched what you had watched before. The word you are reading now came into your life because of a specific divine movement. The word end time is the most important part of that sentence. There is a moment when you say in time. This message is meant for a window and you are in it. You are not past it or coming up behind it indoors. It's not a coincidence that you are ready. This message has the right information and this moment is here at the right time. It is set up and the platform you found it on is not the one who put it together. It's God. Let me talk about what that arrangement means in real life. Because I believe that the chosen one gets words like this from time to time. A word about divine positioning and specific timing. And they take it in a warm way as spiritual encouragement rather than as specific information about how the moment they are in is structured. That is the kind of information I want to give you. God makes sure that certain things happen to the person He has chosen in the plot of your story. He is not passive. He places words, people, meetings, and moments at certain times in the journey of the chosen one when those things are needed and ready to be received the most. This is one of those times. That's what I'm telling you. One of those things is this message, and the fact that you found it right now is one of those arrangements. In other words, what comes next in this message is not a coincidence. It's not just spiritual content that got through to you. There is specific content that was made just for the chosen one who is at the exact point in their journey where this content is what they need. That's a strong claim. That's what I stand for. What do I mean when I say God made sure you found this in time? The phrase in time has a lot of meaning that I want to break down for you in the sacred understanding of the chosen one's journey. Time is not a neutral thing. It's not just the place where things happen. Time goes through seasons, and during each season there are certain times when a word or experience is at its strongest. Everything I have covered across this channel is now in one place. The prayers, the teachings, the daily blessings, it is all inside the Daily Miracle Manual link in the description. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel, your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, snorts, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give, snorts, and it will be given to you is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose. Join the conversation and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life. The word was true before that, but the ground wasn't ready to fully receive it. The word is still true after that, but something has happened. The window is the time when the word, the ground, and the desire are all in sync. You're in the window. That's what it means to be in time. It's not like you just barely made it. That the time is right. That this word is happening to you at the exact time it was meant to. So the weight of what comes next is not the usual weight of spiritual encouragement. It's the exact weight of a word that comes into its window. I'd also like to talk about the word coincidence and why I used it at the beginning. This is because the chosen one who finds this word and knows that something in it speaks directly to something they carry, will often feel the pull of thought that brushes it off. If you think about it, this is just a video. The resonance you feel is due to good content, not divine positioning. The timing is more of an atmosphere than a specific event. I need to name that thought and be sure I know what it is. It's not discernment. It is not a reasonable assessment. It's a reflex that the chosen one developed during times when the expected divine positioning didn't happen or took too long. A protective skepticism that learned to downplay the importance of spiritual experiences because it hurt less to downplay them than to fully believe in them and be let down. In the seasons where it formed, that reflex made sense. I'm not putting it down. It has a name so that it doesn't work in the background right now because this isn't a time when protective skepticism is helpful. This is the point where it costs you. The price is being able to fully understand a word that God made sure got to you at the right time. Read this carefully and with an open mind. But read it all the way through. Allow the resonance you feel to be what it is confirmation. That person who is chosen and finds a word that fits what they carry so well has not found good content. They got to a certain word at a certain time because of a God who plans things like this. Let me tell you what God was trying to keep you from when He made sure you found this on time. Because divine rooting is always purposive. God does not position a word in the path of the chosen one for the purpose of the word alone. He positions the word because of what the word makes possible, what it opens, what it releases, what it confirms, what it equips the chosen one to walk into next. The word that God made sure you found is not just an encouragement for the current moment. It is a preparation for what comes after the current moment. The chosen one who receives this word fully, who does not let the protective skepticism filter out its weight, walks away from this message equipped for something, positioned for something with a specific clarification or confirmation or release, makes the next step navigable in a way it was not navigable before they found this. That is what God was protecting you toward. Not just comfort in the present. Readiness for what is next. And what is next for the chosen one who is in this message is something that requires this word as part of its foundation. God made sure you found it because the next step depends on it. Now I'll get to the point of what I want to say. There are things that the chosen one is carrying right now that God has specifically positioned this message to speak to. And I want to name some of them so that the chosen one who is holding back full reception, waiting to see if the message proves itself specific enough, can release that caution and open fully to what is here. You have been in a season where the pace of things has not matched your inner knowing of what is coming. There is a gap, a specific gap between the interior reality of the call you carry and the exterior reality of what has materialized. And that gap has been the source of a particular kind of spiritual fatigue. Not despair, not loss of faith, but fatigue. The wearing effect of sustaining belief across a gap that continues to be present. God saw that gap. He did not see it from a distance. He was in it with you. And He made sure you found this message in time. Not in time to prevent the gap. In time to receive the word that addresses it and the understanding that closes the distance between what you have been holding and what is now. What is now moving toward you. There is also something else that the chosen one in this season carries. There is a weight that comes from knowing that you or me were made for something specific in a world that has not yet confirmed that specificity from the outside. The call is interior. The evidence is absent or thin, and the daily work of maintaining the interior knowing without the external confirmation produces a particular kind of invisible exhaustion. I want to name that exhaustion specifically because I think the chosen one often does not give themselves permission to acknowledge it. There is a spiritual urge, and in some ways a real urge, to be thankful for how hard the calling is instead of complaining about it. To honor the honor of being chosen by not caring about what it costs to be chosen. But that instinct works against fully receiving a word like this one when it turns into a refusal to see the real weight of what the formation season takes from the chosen one. The complete guide, every daily prayer, every spiritual tool, everything I've put together to help you grow your faith is down in the description. It's called the Daily Miracle Manual. Now stay right here with me, because as this awakening grows inside, you know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. This is not a word for a chosen one who acts like the weight wasn't there. That's the word that God made sure you found on time. It's a word for the chosen one who stood where the word that addresses it has arrived because they carried the full weight. Know exactly what it cost and have been honest about how hard the season has been. That's you. The word is here and you got it in time. There is also a certain weight that the chosen one has when two experiences coincide. The first feeling is inside, knowing that the call is real and that the person is on their way. The second experience is the long-lasting lack of that arrival in the form of a visible thing. When those two feelings stay in the same part of the mind at the same time for a long time, they make something that is harder to describe than doubt. On the inside, there is a kind of spiritual pressure between knowing and not knowing. Yet, this is the word that speaks into that tight space. So God made sure you found it in time, not to play it down or downplay the weight of what the long gap between knowing and not knowing has caused, but to say something specific about it. The pressure is about to let go. What was stuck between knowing and not yet is about to come together. The phrase "in time" means that you get this message in the window right before that convergence. Type "found" in the comments if you can picture what I'm talking about. Type "found." If you know, there is a gap between what you know on the inside and what you see on the outside. As I promised, I will now explain more about what it means that made sure you found this at the right time. I said it wasn't a coincidence, and I want to back up that claim. In order to do that, I need to talk about how the chosen one is led. Not in an abstract way, but in terms of how divine positioning works in the life of a person with a calling. The chosen person is led in more ways than just dramatic encounters. Clear voices, vivid dreams, or clear signs. Many of the clues that shape the path of the chosen one's journey are not obvious. It's the thought that comes without a clear source. The strong desire to do something that can't be fully explained. When you know something is important before you fully understand why it is important. And the recognition moment, that is when the chosen one sees something and knows deep down that it has something to do with them, is itself a form of divine guidance. If you could relate to how I describe how you felt when you found this message, it wasn't because it was good content. It was the response of someone who had been chosen and was in the right place to find something. The confirmation is the feeling of being known. God made sure you found it because He knew what would open up when you did. As we stand here, let me say a few words about how God structures His protection of the chosen one. Because the enemy of the chosen one doesn't just fight directly. He also acts like a gentle pull away from the very moments, words, and encounters that God put in front of them, so tired that it makes you scroll past. A distraction that shows up just as the word is about to be used. A voice of logical rejection that says the recognition you feel is just wishful thinking and not proof. You didn't scroll past. You're here. There was something trying to stop this moment, but it failed. Also, I want you to know that your presence here is not passive. It was a choice you made to stay with this word. Even if you weren't fully aware of it, this choice is important and it fits with the pattern of the chosen one, who has always stayed with the call even when there were things that were pushing them away during the formation season. And I want to talk about what the chosen one has that makes the timing of this word so important. Because what the word says is not the only question. The question is also when the word comes in relation to what is going on in the person, its first inside and outside life. The same word that was sent before its time lands on ground that isn't ready for it yet. It lands on ready ground and makes something completely different when it is received in its moment. God also made sure that this word got to you at the right time. Something is going on in the life of the chosen one who is reading this message at the moment. Something that can't be seen from the outside yet. There was movement, shifting, and the starting to loosening of things that were fixed. If you can feel that something is coming that you can't quite name yet, but you can tell because of how different this moment is from the months and years that came before it. Because this word is part of the shifting. God made sure you found it in the window of that shifting. One of the tools of the movement is this. Let me be clear about something that the chosen one has been going through this season. To carry a call through a formation season has been a weight, and not just the general weight, a certain weight that comes with the threshold moment. That time when something is very close but still far away, the chosen one can feel both how close what's coming is and how far away they are from where it lands. One of the strongest kinds of spiritual pressure is that threshold weight. The chosen one goes through. The threshold is the point where the chosen prison one has just enough proof to know that the arrival is real and close, snorts, but not enough proof to let go of all the weight. It's almost as close as the formation season. This is not yet the arrival season. And it is different from both the depth of the formation and the clarity of the full arrival in its own way. God made sure you found this word that was the person who has been chosen needs a certain word for the next step. Not a word about coming together or forming. Just a word about the exact moment they are in. You've reached the edge. This is the threshold word, and the timing isn't a mistake. I also want to talk to the people around because chosen one right now, because the chosen one at the threshold often has a certain kind of relationship experience. People close to them, even those who care about them and love them, don't always fully understand what the chosen one is standing on the edge of. They can see the chosen one's current location in the outside world. It's not clear to them what the chosen one really carries or how close what's coming is. And the chosen one feels lonely because of the difference between what they know and what other people can see. When someone is chosen at the threshold, they sometimes can't see past it. Let me talk about what happens after the threshold. The threshold is the main experience, and from inside it can feel like the final state instead of a transitional one, as if the fact that the arrival is getting closer is proof that it will always be on the way without ever landing. I want to talk about that fear right away. The threshold is a state of change. It's not going to last. It's the last step before the arrival season starts in earnest. And the chosen one who has made it to the threshold has been through the whole formation season and is now close to the arrival does not stay at the threshold forever. The threshold is reached. It turns into the arrival season. And the season of arrival that starts after the threshold is related to both the formation season and the moment of threshold. What the threshold squished in you, the excitement, the closeness and the unique sense of readiness that comes from being on the edge of something is itself preparation for what comes next. God made sure you found it in time. In its broadest sense, that means the threshold window is not closing. It's going open. It's not the last second before something closes. That something is in time. It's the start of something that will soon be fully open. I want to talk about one more thing that the chosen one at the threshold is going through. That is the kind of faith that is needed in this season, because faith in the formation season is faith that lasts. Faith tells us that the call is real even when we can't see proof of it. The faith of the threshold season is not the same as other faiths. This kind of faith doesn't prepare itself for what's coming, but instead gets ready to receive it. It is not easy to go from having faith that is supported to having faith that is received. The chosen one who spent a long time developing the muscles of maintaining faith now needs to make a conscious movement inside to engage the muscles of receiving faith. Faith that lasts keeps going. It's possible to receive faith, and the threshold is just the spot where that change needs to take place. Thanks to this word, God made sure you found it at the right time. It is a part of that transition. People who actively receive are the ones who walk into what is coming instead of waiting for it to fully form before moving toward it. Who moves toward the open door before it's fully open? Who talks about something that is going to happen as if it were already happening? Not because they think it's true, but because it doesn't match up with what they know to be true. That's how you should stand to receive faith. Furthermore, the threshold is the time of year when it turns into the chosen one's main mode. In the comments, type yes. If you feel like you're at this point in the transition, you should type yes. If you know that this season calls for you to change from giving to receiving, I want to add something that is directly related to what I have been saying. I have been talking about the precise of the chosen, one who is on the verge of something important when it comes to the mental, spiritual, and emotional costs of a long formation season. And I want to talk about a certain part of that cost that I'd have been holding back for this part of the message. For the chosen one, the formation season costs more than just their soul. The way they think is worse because of it. This is something I've talked about in other messages, but I want to name it here because of what I'm about to say. A certain kind of mental heaviness is caused by the weight of carrying something invisible like faith through a long period of time between knowing something inside and getting confirmation from the outside world. An increase in how hard it is for the chosen one to think clearly and comfortably. It shows up in the way creative ideas are seen. People who have been chosen and are in a sustained formation season often feel like they aren't as creative as they were in earlier seasons. The insights that used to come easily are now only happening sometimes. The clarity that used to be easy to get is now something that needs to be worked for instead of just happening naturally. And the chosen one says this is because of how hard the season is. But they don't fully understand that there is a physiological reason for it. All of these things, the occasional creative clarity, the hard-won prayer and the tough decision-making are based in science. The Nobel Prize in Physiology was given to a study in 1981 that showed very clearly how the human brain is meant to work. Scientist Roger Sperry spent many years looking into how the two sides of the brain talk to each other. He discovered that when the brain is working at its best, it works as a single unit. Both sides of the brain talk to each other in a certain way that when present makes thinking, perceiving, and receiving very different from what most adults experience. It is said that 98% of kids test at the genius level in this combined skill. When those people become adults, less than 2% of them still regularly use it. This loss is made worse by the formation season. Carrying an unresolved issue or holding a call without external confirmation for months or years adds to your mental load and messes up the pattern of cross-hemisphere and integration that the Nobel Prize research found. And the result is exactly what I said. It would be a narrowing, a heavy feeling, and a harder time having creative thoughts and spiritual reception. I want to tell you about a woman who got in touch with me after reading this message. Her formation season, she said, lasts for 7 years. She held on to something for 7 years that she couldn't fully explain in a world that couldn't see it. She was so sure of it that she couldn't even try to reason it away. She also gave a very accurate description of the cognitive dimension. I just named the weight, the blurred vision and the feeling that her mind wasn't working at the level she knew it could. She said she started using something for 8 minutes a day with her eyes closed and headphones on. Within the first week, she said something started to change, not dramatically, but slowly. The heaviness in her thoughts started to lift. It became more consistent for her to have creative thoughts. And by the second week, she said her prayer life had changed in a way she hadn't expected. The channel seemed to be better. It was easier to get in. It was restored that she used the word not improved. It was like something that had been stifled was being let out to do what it was meant to do. A man said something like this. He talked about the specific tiredness of the formation season and the mental and spiritual weight that comes from holding for years on end. If you want the full guide with every prayer and lesson I've compiled for this community, check the description for the Daily Miracle Manual. You are about to enter your divine future, but remember this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry when Jesus says give and heaven will open over you on this platform. Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall. Share your heart. And as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now. Join the family and see your heavens open. He also said that using this tool for 30 days changed more than just the way he thought. It was the way he made decisions. The discernment that had become hard to use was once again available. He said he could feel the direction better and that the fog that was sticking around him was gone. He said that the specific clarity of the inside that he had in earlier seasons before the extended formation started had come back. What they both saw was made by a group of people led by Dr. Daniel Barron, a neurosurgeon in New York City. He spent years researching the exact process by which cross-hemisphere integration is harmed and then fixed. And the thing that his team made is not a brainwave product. Frequency therapy is not what it is. It's not an app for meditation. I want to make these differences very clear because they are important. Neural sync technology is a certain kind of audio delivery system that fixes the pattern of integration that gets messed up during the waiting season and gets it back to how the brain was designed to work. The smart switch is what they call it. Every day for 8 minutes with headphones on and eyes closed. The clarity that comes back isn't fake. It is your first clarity. The one that had been stopped by long-term formation season pressure is now back to the way it was meant to work. Not everyone can use the genius switch. That part is for the chosen one who understands what I said about the mental side of the formation season. Who has felt the heaviness, the narrowing and the clear moments. Who is on the verge of something big and wants to start the arrival season with all of their resources working at the level that the arrival needs. That person has been chosen because they know that what is opening needs all of them, not just the spiritual part. And they want to go into what is opening fully equipped. For the first time, Dr. Barron set the price at the level of a professional consultation, Clear's throat, which was several hundred. When his co-workers pushed back, he lowered it a lot. The price that is shown is $49. For the chosen person who sees this message today. The page costs $39 and comes with 4 free bonuses, a guided visualization protocol, a morning clarity sequence, a breakthrough journal framework, a recovery sleep audio, and a money-back guarantee. That doesn't have any conditions. There are no requirements and no inquiries. One last note to be clear before I go on. There are products that use language like the one I'm talking about. There are brainwave products, frequency tools, and meditation apps that claim to improve brain function. For the most part, they all work in very different ways. Cross-hemisphere integration was the subject of a Nobel Prize-winning study that the Genius Switch is based on. It is not a type of product. It is the exact tool made from the exact science and used through a unique delivery system. That difference is important, and I want the chosen person who reads this message to understand it clearly. If your spirit says it's true, the link is in the description and the comment below that has been pinned. I want to say one more thing about why this information is important for this message. God made sure you found this just in time for the Word. This is part of the Word. Every part of a chosen person who is about to make a big arrival, who has been through a long season of formation and who is about to walk into what God planned needs to be at full capacity. Both the mental and spiritual aspects, as well as the ability to see what is opening up and be creative enough to fully engage with it. God made sure you found this because you need it for the arrival. Part of what God made sure you found is what talks about the cost of the formation season. Just type genius in the box below. If what I said about the formation season's cognitive weight hitting you hit home, type genius. If you feel the cutting and the weight and want to go into the arrival season with all of your abilities fully restored, now it's time for me to talk about something I've been and building up to the whole message. The word that God made sure you found isn't just about the threshold. It's not just about the mental side of things. It's about what the threshold lets in. And I want to call that out right away. Before we move on to the sacred closing, God made sure you found this on time because big things are going to happen from where you are now. The threshold opens up into something that is equal to the size of your formation. In other words, it's equal to everything you went through and everything you held every day you chose to keep going. The arrival that is opening on the other side of the threshold from where you are now is set up to handle all of that. And the chosen one who hears this word in this window is the one who walks through the door clear, headed and ready to take in everything that is about to come. You have been chosen. We are now in the sacred closing and I want to enter it the same way. I always do, with full presence and no hurry. There is weight to what was said in this message. And I want that weight to land fully before this hour ends. For starters, I want to say something. I'm thankful for that is real for me right now. Not just as a spiritual exercise. Thank goodness you didn't scroll past that. Where this message found you, you stopped what you were doing, what you were thinking, or what you were carrying. This is an important choice for the chosen one who stops and stays with a word like this during a time when a lot is going on and everything is trying to get their attention. Making that choice takes faith, and God does not ignore faith. I'm thankful for the weight you've been carrying. Weight is good not because it is good in and of itself, but because it has made you stronger. The person who has been chosen and has reached the threshold or the window that is about to open did not just happen to be there. They made it because they kept going through a tough time that most people would have given up on the exact thing that is in you right now. The knowledge, the firm belief, and the strength that doesn't do anything on its own, but is just a part of how you are made. Here is the result of that carrying. I'm glad you didn't put it down. You're still alive. You're here. You got this word just in time. All three of those things are big. They show that you were still alive during the formation season. It gave birth to you. The exact version of you that the coming season needs is the one that you are right now. You're now ready. I let you go. I free you from the weight of every coincidence you ignored because your protective skepticism told you not to trust the resonance. You felt from every time a word, an encounter, or a confirmation came your way. And you doubt it was probably nothing. It makes sense that reflex would happen. It's not wrong, but it's kept you from fully experiencing many things that God put in your way. You are now free from that reflex. I'm not doing this to make you naive, but so you can fully receive what is being put in your path. I free you from the weight of the gap, the specific long-lasting weight of the space between what you know is coming and what has already happened on the outside. There was a gap there. There was real weight. There was a real cost to keeping your faith through it. Not one of it is less important to me. You don't have to keep carrying it after I let you go. There is less of a gap now. The threshold is getting clearer. You don't have to keep the same posture that helped you get through the gap. The way you stand should be like that of someone walking through the closing gap into the arrival. Move the receiving open. I take away the mental weight of the formation season from you. From the weight that built up in your mind over the months and years of not resolving something, from the narrowing that didn't happen because your mind got weaker. But because the season's weight pressed on it in ways that made the channel smaller, that narrowing will not last forever. The channel starts up. The clarity comes back. I also let go of the idea that the heavy feeling you had during the formation season is the way your mind always feels. It's not. It happens at certain times of the year, and those times are changing. I set you free from the threshold's loneliness. A certain kind of loneliness that comes from knowing what you're carrying and being on the edge of something big while everyone else can't see it. It is true that you feel lonely, and I'm not freeing you from the truth of it. I'm freeing you from having to carry it by yourself. You're not the only one who feels this way. The same God has been with you every day of the formation season. He made it possible for you to find this word at the right time. This is what He can see you. He knows what is about to happen and is with you at the threshold. I free you from the habit of downplaying what's coming. The chosen one who went through a long formation season may not be able to fully receive what is opening when they reach the threshold. This is not because their arrival is not important, but because the habits they learned during the threshold formation season taught them to limit their expectations as a way to protect themselves. Now, you don't have to do that. During the arrival season, there is no need for protected expectation. It calls for an open mind. It's real that big things are going to happen and you can expect them to. I forgive all the words that were said over you during the formation season. That named you by your current position instead of your call. Every word that told people where you were instead of what you were carrying or where you were going. Those words did not accurately describe the person who was chosen. They were ideas that were formed without the information that the formation season was keeping inside. They don't have control over when people come to visit, and I take their weight off of you. Now, I want to add something to what I just said, because the chosen one carries a level of formation season weight that I didn't name yet. And I want to name it before this message ends because I think it's important for the person reading or hearing it. The choices you didn't make during the formation season weigh you down. You missed chances because you didn't think the time was right. The paths you didn't take because you had to go in a different direction for a call. The things you turned down or didn't go after because you knew in your heart that the time needed you to hold on to the thing you were holding on to. Instead of we're holding on cast AP going on to the other thing. Those choices were the right ones. It was the chosen one who had the specific call during the formation season who made the right choices. Even when it cost them something. It's possible to feel grief, regret, or low-level doubt when you think about what you didn't do. I take that weight off of you. Things you chose to do during the formation season were the right things to do. You made choices that have led to what you are going through now during the arrival season. The things you didn't work on during the formation season gave the arrival season the specific attention, interior space, and direction alignment it needed to get off the ground. I also want to talk about how heavy time is. The person who is chosen at the threshold sometimes feels a certain kind of grief about the time that the formation season required, about the years, and about what they did or did not do during those years compared to a timeline they imagined or expected. I want to free you from your sadness. It's not lost time that the formation season took place. It's time that was spent. What's on the other side of the threshold you're standing at now is the interest that has been added to that investment over time. The years weren't taken, they were planted. And the harvest is based on how long and deep the sowing is. I free you from the pain of time. I free you from the regret of what the formation asked of you. Let go of the habit of comparing the formation season to a timeline you made up and finding it lacking. What happened during the formation season is what should have happened. Not because pain is good in and of itself, but because the exact thing that needed to be made and you needed that long of a time. And what was made is exactly what the arrival season needs. One more statement to make before this message ends. People who were meant to receive this message did so not by chance or by following a set of rules. God made sure of it. It's a promise from God that He will pay attention to the whole story of your life. It was the same God who made sure you found this word at the right time that has been making sure you have had everything you need during this formation season. The right words, people, and moments of confirmation showed up at the right times, and that the formation was made with your assignment in mind. He didn't start to pay attention now. He has been following along the whole time. And the arrival season isn't Him becoming interested in how your story goes. It's clear proof of how much He cared about your story from the very beginning. You got this right on time. The threshold is getting clearer. The arrival is beginning. And the same God who made sure you found is also making sure that what's on the other side of the soullessly. The threshold is exactly what He told you would be when He called you at the start of the journey. Have faith and walk in it. Enter the next part. God made sure. And what God promises will never fail. Now I'm going to say it. You are the chosen one that God put in the right place at the right time to find this word. That placement wasn't a mistake. It was carefully put together. You're reading this message right now, which is the first sign that something new is about to open on the other side of the threshold you are standing at. You are ready for what's to come. Fully, not mostly, not almost. The formation season didn't really get you ready. It was the end of the preparation. You bring what the job asks of you. As a base, you have been through what the arrival season calls for. And the version of you that goes into what's opening next is the version that was made to go into what's opening. You found it in time not because you were lucky, but because God made sure you would. And what God makes sure takes place is important. This is the exact step of the person who is planning the plot of your story with care and intention, and who has a full picture of what lies ahead that you don't have yet. He knows what's going to happen. He got you ready for it. He put this word in your path just at the right time for it to come to you through this very moment. He told you that you are the chosen one and are ready for what comes next. That's how it is. Yes. If you get that promise, type "I am ready" in the comments. That should help you get in line with what God has put you on the edge of. Press the like button on this message slowly. People who were chosen and found something real here. Honor what God did by pressing the like button. Do it right now. Please send this message to one person today, the person you care about who is going through a formation season and needs to hear that God made sure they found something in time. They are known to you. Send this to them. The message was meant to reach them through you. If you subscribe, the next word God puts in your path will come straight to you on this channel. The link is in the note that was pinned and in the description. If the cognitive weight of the formation season hit home, if you felt the recognition of the narrowing and heaviness I talked about, the Genius Switch is the tool that will help you. All 39 a day for 8 minutes. The clarity that the arrival season needs for those who have been chosen and are ready to walk into what is opening. The link is there. God made sure you found it in time. Take it as it is. The threshold is getting clearer. The arrival is beginning. You are the chosen one that God put in the right place, got ready for, and said, you are ready for what's next. Enter it. You can have it. One more thing. There is someone right on the edge of this message. The edge where they can almost feel the comet coming. But the last step seems the biggest to that person. I want to say that the last step into the arrival season is the same step that got you through all the other forms. Putting one foot in front of the other. Faith that comes before proof. The position of the chosen one who walks toward what God said would happen instead of waiting to happen completely before moving to it. God made sure you found it in time. He also didn't just leave you standing at the threshold. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment. A place where divine abundance is not just a hope but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools, snorts, meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.